Flight 961, Mission Carnival, all access.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yo. Hey. Unknown, true story. Trouble. Hey. Yeah, yeah. Well, yo. I think the 2014 season is definitely different. It's more than business as usual. I mean, our business is carnival and music and shows, but it's music shows carnival on a higher level. You know, we have a big Carnival 2014 album, and we also coming fresh off of putting out our album for Universal France, which will come out for summer, but we actually in the recording process. So it's double up on the business. I mean, the season is full of a lot of new songs and a lot of new things for us. You know, the exciting new dancers, our new aspirations to produce a show that's a bit, you know, a cut above the rest, a bit more sophisticated. We want to be a little more classy, but we want to be exciting. You know, we're promoting happiness, which is a big responsibility because, you know, you have to keep smiling while you're working hard at this new business and you're trying to achieve new goals. We're challenging ourselves. Our bodies are under more pressure. You know, we're rehearsing longer hours. We're shooting videos. We're up on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, like never before. It's an exciting time, you know. I think it's the time of technology, but yet it's still a new level of communication. Communicating with our fans, you know, communicating with ourselves, you know, actually finding out where do we really want to go. This is a good time for soca music, a good time for the Caribbean vibe. And, you know, we want to use 2014 as our stepping stone into the future. We have great songs on the radio. You know, we have great videos coming out. We just released the Happiest Man Alive video, which was, you know, shot, you know, in like the happiest fashion we could ever do it. And, you know, good things are happening. So we look forward to big results, you know. We smack dab in the, what we call the beginning of the season. But we have a lot more ahead, and I think it's going to get even more exciting. Well, a lot of big things are happening for us internationally. You know, we got an offer from Universal France to do an album, and this album is, you know, mainly soca music in its raw form, with a slight remixing process here and there, touching them up and putting them up for the French market. And when we say the French market, you know, you wonder what is the French market? But I'm talking about the Caribbean French market, you know. So many Martinicans and Guadeloupe, you know, so many people from Guadeloupe and Martinique and all these French-speaking countries are in France, and they are familiar with the French music like Cassave, which is so close to soca. You know, we have Zouk music, you know, I work with Wyclef, so it's all familiar to me. But here we have a unique opportunity to promote soca music on a main continent and take it from France all across Europe. This is exciting for us. This is a new gateway for us to really experiment and try new things and really test the strength of soca, this happy music. While that was happening, we got, you know, an offer to do a song with a group called Spankers. You know, they're internationally known. And the name of the song was Party Time, with a Caribbean feel, but definitely pop dance music. And, you know, we took this up, and I really love this song. And it was released in all of Asia first, Japan, you know, and on iTunes right now, it entered the charts at number 38, and it's climbed to number 16 in just one day. So we're excited for Party Time. Party Time is a Spankers single featuring Machel Montano and Fat Man Scoop, my good old friend who worked with me together with Busta Rhymes. And I mean, we're really excited about this because here we have the French continent with Universal, and here we have Spankers with Party Time in the Asian continent at the same time. You know, this is something big for soca. This is something to be happy about. And we're looking forward to this being another door opening, you know. Us going to Japan, I've never been to the Asian continent, and I want to see China, I want to see Japan, I want to see Malaysia. You know, so I'm hoping that, you know, we shoot a video out there, you know, do some soul searching for my Chinese roots. Because I've been told I have Chinese eyes. But I mean, it's exciting. You know, new ground, new things. We want to keep our fan base. We want to stay local. But right now, we really want to try and stretch our arms out. Touch people in different places. Bring soca music to the world and show them how happy we are. So it's not only about Carnival right now, it's about Carnival all over the world. Well, my musical exploration of the African continent started way back in 1991. You know, the great Winsford Devines, one of the best soca writers, wrote me a calypso called Take Me Back Africa. You know, when like, I want to be in your arms again, take me back Africa. You know, I want to feel your sorrow and pain, take me back Africa. And it was almost like a cry. You know, people thought I was saying, carry me back Africa. But it wasn't about that. It was like, take me back to my roots. You know, take me back to that thing that is missing. You know, when we came here from the Caribbean, we came from Africa on a ship. You know, they strip us of our drums. They strip us of our, you know, our heritage. Sometimes when I watch, you know, the Indian culture and I see people having Indian weddings and they dressed up and they eat in a certain way and, you know, they listen to a certain music. And I want some of that. I want some of that from my base, from my, you know, background. So I decided, you know, hopefully one day I'll go to Africa and perform. But it never happened, you know, and one day, you know, the song Possessed, I worked on it with Cohen. Cohen sent the rhythm to me and said, boy, let's do this as a collab. And I said, Cohen, this is the vehicle. This is the vehicle to take us to Africa. And I immediately knew that it was something I could pitch to Lady Smith Black Mambazo. I'd seen them at Paul Simon. I always loved their music. And I was like, I want to sing this with Lady Smith. I want to sing this with Lady Smith Black Mambazo. You know, so we sent it out to them. We contacted their management and we prayed. And, you know, somehow they came back and they were interested in the project. They liked the song, but there was a twist. They have to come to Africa during all years. So here we were with a predicament, flying 17 hours across the continent, 17 hours across the world on All Year's night, you know, and it was like Happy New Year on a plane. But it was a sacrifice and I think it was worth it because we touched down in Africa, me, my camera crew, Dory, Naji, James, and we had a knapsack, 2 cameras and a speaker, and we just started to explore Africa. We just went walking, we looked for the studio, we found them. They didn't know what soca was. Lady Smith Black Mambazo thought soca was soccer, football. They didn't know where Trinidad and Tobago was, but yet they embraced me as a son. And I had 8 hours to explain what this music was about, why we wanted to do a song with them, what Carnival was about, what Trinidad and Tobago is as a nation. And you know, by the end of the explanation, everybody was into it, they loved the music, and it felt like home. We recorded the song in one day, and they adopted me as one of their sons. It's a family, they all related, and then we left. We went to explore the rest of Africa, and what I learned will never ever leave me in life. I was a changed person. You know, Africa is always one image promoted to us. But here I saw a happy people. I saw an advanced nation. Beautiful streets, beautiful buildings, trains like no train you ever see before in the world. And I was interested. I really wanted to work with Africa because I would see the similarities. I would see the same kind of dancing, the same kind of sexual, you know, drive that soca music had, the same kind of whining and movement. And I would find that the way they would do it would have a little more class, a little more integrity. You know, people that will say soca music is just whine and jam and joke, but they had something about it that looked regal. And I thought that we could work with that. We could find that essence and elevate our song and our music. So we had to do it. At the same time, people like The Banj was getting popular. You know, people like Ayanla, people like Timaya. And when we heard the Timaya Shake It Bum Bum remix, I knew it. I knew this was where soca needed to be. We started studying Azonto music because we thought Azonto is really like soca. Maybe they're hearing soca. And lo and behold, one day I got a phone call that Timaya wanted a soca remix. I worked really hard on it for months with my full team. And we came up with a remix that, you know, even Timaya was impressed. And, you know, we tried so hard to get him to Trinidad. The hardest part was getting them to say yes. And one day I just kneel down and I pray and I say, Lord, let's make this happen. And we got a phone call the next day from the state of Bayelsa. Now, Bayelsa is one of the states known for the wealth of Nigeria. And it just so happened that they wanted us to come. They were interested in us to come to one of their music festivals. And when we started, you know, looking into it, we found out the president of Nigeria is from Bayelsa, but Timaya was also from Bayelsa. But my heart just started burst with happiness. I was like, yes, this is it. And we were able to use that and leverage to ensure that Timaya comes to Trinidad. And in return, they said, look, we're going to take you all to the festival. You, the dancers, your team, your band. And this is like a dream come true. Here I was, my first gig in Africa, in April, right after Carnival. You know, so we're going to help celebrate Bios's 17th anniversary. We want to pay tribute to them for recognizing soca music, because we want soca music to hit that continent. We want them to take me back Africa. Every time I touch a continent for the first time, well, I can't say I've done it many times, but you know, going to India was a special one. You know, I consider myself, I really consider myself to be African and Indian. You know, not because I have nice hair, you know, or I like curry a lot, but because I live in this country, I'm eating doubles, I'm experiencing everything that's East Indian while I'm an African. I just feel at peace with it, you know, doing Real Unity with Jupiter, you know, doing all the East Indian songs and collaborations and chutney collaborations that I've done means something to me. It means something to me to be accepted by that community, because I treat like a transcending a barrier, you know. And I had the opportunity to go India again. This time it was even less than music. You know, I had a great friend whose brother was getting married to a girl from India, and she said, you know, she's showing off, oh, I'm going to India. And I was like, I want to come, you know, I want to see it too, you know. And it was like I didn't have to work, so it was something I had to invest in to go for myself. And I went, and it was a lucky thing that I went with this entire family who love exploration, because they wanted to do everything. So we went to almost every state in India: Jaipur, Kerala, Mumbai, you know, Cologne. I can't even pronounce some of them, but at every point I was able to see why we are who we are in Trinidad, because of where we come from. And something touched me about India that I will never forget. I have never been in a place where I didn't see people shouting at each other. I didn't see people arguing with each other. I mean, the streets packed and bad drives and cuttings and cutouts, and everybody will just never raise their voice at anyone. That peace, that zen is what I took back from that trip. Also the dedication to, you know, what they call their tradition, you know, their tradition, their foods, you know, their sites, their monuments, their religion. Going to India for me was definitely as exciting as Africa. I see the similarity in Trinidad, but it's very different. Trinidad and Tobago, you know, we have a unique East Indian culture. You know, we're not seeing tassa, we're not seeing doubles, you know, which means we have something. We definitely have something special. But going there, my heart opened up to the music. I was, you know, opened up to the tradition of wedding and getting married, and eating food and feeding people in a certain way. And it was an eye-opener again. You know, I would go across the state of Kerala, and I would see more Catholic churches than I would see in Trinidad and Tobago. Everywhere it was like church, 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 temple, church, church, church. You know, and this is India. So you know, you're shocked by these things. Your mind is open. And I think I took back a lot from there. I wanted to experience some of the musicians, the producers. I had the chance to do a Bollywood movie called Scandalous, which I am working on, and it will be released. We've been struggling for the last 5 years to make this movie. It will be released. And you know, I met a lot of major film score people I met a lot of people who score films, a lot of people who write the music for these big Bollywood films, and they were willing to work with me. They love my music. So this is what we're gonna do. We wanna make that marriage between the real India and still, you know, compare that or keep the perspective of our unique Indian experience in Trinidad. You know, we have a different kind of East Indian, Caribbean East Indian, which is a paradise vibe. And we're gonna work with that. We're gonna bring this forward in our shows. We're gonna bring this out on Machel Montano, that marriage between, you know, the real India and our unique East Indian Experience Insurance.